Social media can be a great tool, but I think people are being used by social media. Let me explain. For example, people are interested in social media because it's entertaining and basically it's addicting. It's actually very addicting and it triggers dopamine. Now, social media these days is very short term. TikTok shorts, YouTube shorts are very short based content, and because of that, it actually, if you're watching it, you're actually getting a dopamine release from this stuff. And since it's super short based, it could actually be very harmful. Why? Because it shortens our attention span. If you're not interested in watching and staying through watching a whole 10-minute video and you're out here just scrolling endlessly on 5-second, 10-second clips, your attention span is probably going to go down. We've noticed it a lot, especially in the upcoming generations. A lot of people are addicted to social media. A lot of people are constantly consuming, and because they're constantly consuming this sort of content, it is very bad for your mental health. I think dopamine is probably the biggest reason why people are addicted to social media, because it triggers dopamine, which, and obviously it can get addicting. Many things can trigger dopamine. And I think social media is the biggest contributor. So that's why I'm clearly making this video. Is social media bad? Yes and no. It depends on how you use social media. You can watch content that could be uplifting, motivating, educational, learning. There's podcasts. But then of course there's just these 5-10 second clips of people doing crazy things, and if you're out here scrolling your butt off, you're out here at nighttime watching content like that, you are potentially going to be causing a lot of issues. Instead of wasting hours, especially because people get addicted on social media, they spend hours on social media these days, not 10 minutes. Spending all those hours scrolling is going to cause a lot of problems. And I think depression's going up, a lot of things is going up, because people aren't really going out in the real world. They're constantly scrolling, they're constantly on the internet. And what's even worse is the fact that people aren't as interactive. They're less interactive in person, and they're spending more time online. And we are starting to notice that AI is on the rise, and it is getting pushed through social media. Like Instagram has so many AI features. Many other social media websites and whatever, they have so much AI. I mean, you're just seeing that there is more AI and more tech AI based things just going out there. Now, it's not horrible, but I think what's happening is people are over consuming social media, and this could cause a lot of problems. Instead of putting time into yourself, your goals, working out, doing things, scrolling hours on social media, staying up super late. I know I was one of them as well. I would stay up super late watching videos on YouTube. I would spend hours doing that. It's not good. And I know there's a lot of people who stay up probably till 3 a.m., 4 a.m. even, watching TikTok. Instead of getting good sleep, they're scrolling on the internet. It's addicting. It is very addicting. And a lot of people are on the media these days. It's not just a few people. There's billions of people, potentially billions of people, using social media. Now, it's not bad. It's just that people really need to start taking advantage of it. So how do you combat something that you can be addicted to? Well, the best thing you could do is start lessening your time. That is the number one thing you could do. Instead of putting all those hours, instead of using it at nighttime, maybe you scroll so much at nighttime, this is causing bad sleep, then you're probably going to have to start using it early in the day, or realizing it's not worth it at all and just use it less. Sometimes you got to reprogram your mind to say, how do you view social media? You shouldn't view it as a negative thing. You should just view it as a form of entertainment that is really no longer serving your purpose. Maybe view it like that. Do some journaling, write it down, pretty much like write it down, try to reprogram your mind into thinking it's not a bad thing, but it's definitely something that you need to lessen up on. and start investing your time elsewhere, or just get that good sleep. And even if you're not using social media at nighttime and you're still using it for hours of the day, it can still be very disruptive, very time wasting, and honestly can cause a lot of depression because you're not seeing anyone and you're constantly trying to get some sort of dopamine release instead of from something long term. You're doing it on something short term, which in fact can be an issue because you're constantly wanting short term pleasure, and this makes you addicted to quick dopamine release things. So basically, hearing some really weird noises. Basically, you have to know where you're putting your time into, and the more short-term dopamine release things you have, the more you're gonna want. And so when you try to work on something long-term, some people have a bad effect because they're not seeing any results, and then they completely lose patience. So the best thing I could tell you is start to switch it up, start to find out what it is that your time is going into, invest the time in yourself, build a strong connection with yourself instead of social media, start connecting with nature, start doing the things you've always wanted to do. And if you don't know what you want to do, just go out and follow your heart. Social media isn't bad, but it is very addicting and I think can cause a lot of health problems. So be mindful. It's always about your time. It's about how much time you put into it. And I hope this video helped you out. If it did, hit the like button, subscribe for more. Thank you for watching.